Alright, welcome back to Dinopedia, entry number 22, the Electrophorus, also known as the electric eel, just by its scientific name. Remember to like if you like, and subscribe down below for more videos. So of course we're going to be looking at the Electrophorus from Ark Survival Ascended, looking at tips and tricks for the Electrophorus, potential add-ons for the electric eel for Ark Survival Ascended, and reworking it for my new name, Dino World. So of course the Electrophorus is the scientific name for electric eels, so that's why, and it actually is a pretty cool name. So when I say Electrophorus, and I can also switch it out for electric eel as well, because it basically is the same, just one is the common name and one is the scientific name. So of course it's a kingdom Animalia. It's a group fish. Yes, I know it's not a reptile. I learned that as well, that these are actually fish. They're actually ray fish. So even though it is an eel, eels are still technically fish. They just fall under a certain category of fish. So they're not amphibians and they're not reptiles. I thought they were like I thought they were like underwater snakes, but they're really not. So of course in the wild, it's highly dangerous with its fast speed and shock ability. It will follow players even if they surface or board a raft. So remember, once you get on a raft, I would book it out of there because it is still going to chase you even if you get on a raft or surface. It will chase you if you get on the beach because it can survive on the beach for a limited time. As you can see right here, its stats: health 180, stamina 165, oxygen 1150 reverse. So of course underwater it has infinite oxygen, but if it's on land, it can survive on land because its oxygen is reversed. So if it's on land, its oxygen bar will go down instead of in the water when its oxygen bar is nada, because it has infinite oxygen underwater. So it can survive on land to chase you even if you get out of the water, so be wary. Its food and water is 1500 each, weight 150, melee 3 to 3 damage basic, and its stun attack does 15 damage melee, with a speed of 4 meters per second. And swimming speed is 3.3 meters per second, so very fast for an underwater creature. And torpor is 175. So some tips: it's a passive tame, tamed with meat and biotoxin. If you get close enough to swim away and you just feed it with meat or biotoxin, it will attack you, so watch out, but you can tame it with meat and biotoxin passively. It also is waterborne. Due to their size, they can swim up rivers and in very shallow water, so they have a smaller size, so they can swim up those rivers and in very shallow water like beaches, so watch out. They also are amphibious. They can survive on land for a limited period of time. So yes, if you're being attacked by one, just because you get out of the water does not mean you're safe, because they can follow you up the water. And then some tricks: they have a stun attack, use on alpha creatures or normal creatures to stun them for a limited time, making them immobile, and with a large damage and stamina nerf. The only creature that is immune to their stun attack is the Baleosaurus, so will not work on a Baleosaurus, but every other creature it will work and will be highly effective. So some additional qualities that I think they should add to the game: bigger the better, make them bigger. Just how the Meg should be made bigger with more health and strength. I think a lot of things in the Ark Ocean is a little too small, considering that I know they don't want to have too many big creatures, but there's a lot of big ocean creatures in the prehistoric days, so make the guys a little bit bigger with more health and strength. And then to charge stun attack. Charge up your shock attack to deal extra damage and stun for longer. I think there should be a lot of charged attacks in the game, just to make it a little bit more unique for some creatures that don't do a lot of damage. Make them so they can charge up their attacks to make it deal extra damage and stun for longer. So Jurassic World Evolution does not have an Electrophorus, so we're just going to look at the Dino World one. The Dino World one has the same model as the Ark Survival one. For the most part, it does look a little bit more scary down here, and the reason why I put this picture is because it has a blue and gray color scheme with purple eyes, so it does look a little bit more dangerous than the Ark Survival one, which has this kind of brown and red scheme on it. So it looks kind of like this, but it has a color scheme more like this. So of course it's called the Electro, it's not the Electrophorus. Of course we shortened down the names to make it more palatable, just to say like, I'm not being attacked by Electrophorus, it's just an Electro, just making it easier for callouts. Of course there's two types: there's the normal Electro, the wild and tamed dino variant, and the mutated Electro. It's the product of two tamed Electros mating, breeding with a gene computer. So of course it's still an Animalia, so group Animalia. Kingdom Animalia, and group is fish, so of course it's in the sharks and eels and rays category of fish. And class is rayfish. Eels are rayfish, so similar to stingrays, and their family is eel with the Balchias and the Anglioavis. So health, I made it better than the Arc one. I made it bigger and more devastating, so it has a health of 400 instead of 180, stamina 350 instead of 165, oxygen reverse, so it can survive on land even more time than the Arc Survival one with 2000 instead of 1150, food and water bumped it up to 1600 instead of 1500, weight doubled at 300 instead of 150, melee is 10 for the bite attack, and the stun attack still does the same amount of damage with 15. Walking speed, it moves faster on land at 5 meters per second, and swimming speed moves faster underwater with 4 meters per second instead of 3.3. And of course, I added so it's immune to being torpor, so it can't be knocked out or stunned instead of having 175, and obviously it's not big enough to have a fortitude. So additional traits in Dino World, water vision, can see well in dark and murky water, similar to the Dunkleosteus. Has extra oxygen as always, gives its rider extra oxygen, so they can survive more underwater. And torpor immune, it's immune to being stunned or knocked out, so this is highly effective. It's the same as the Baleosaurs, but also can't be knocked out with narcotics, so you're going to have to just passively tame this one. An ability, Charge Shock, charge up your stun attack, dealing extra damage and supercharging yourself. So not only do you stun attack a nearby creature, but you also supercharge the electric eel itself, increasing its healing, health, stamina, and speed, increasing the stun time and shock damage with a 30-second cooldown. So a highly effective reworked ability. And lastly, we're going to look at Dino World spawns for the main map of Europa. Blue is guaranteed, green very likely, yellow feudal likely, orange rare, red for very rare, and purple for dead. If we look at the map, it is rare to see in the ocean, as it is a rare tame to see in the shallower parts of the ocean as well. However, if we look at the swampland, it is very rare, but it will swim up river, so it can swim up the rivers of the swampland area. So it is very rare to see them, but you could see them very rarely swimming up the rivers of the swampland area. So that is very much something we want to point out. So of course, as always, thanks to you guys so much for watching. Like if you like, dislike if you don't, subscribe if you like it. Comment down below your thoughts. Everyone have a blessed day as always, and of course, toodaloo!